Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a scrub top, and it's going to be a bit different from the previous scrub top that we made because the V won't be the same. So leave a space of about 4 inches there on top. So we're going to use this same paper to draft both the front and back piece. Then from there, mark your vertical measurements. So your shoulder to bust, mine was 10. Shoulder to waist, 16 inches. Then shoulder to hip was 23 inches, and the full length is going to be at 24 inches. So guys, when taking your measurement for your scrub top, make sure it's long enough. Let it at least reach your hip or below your hip. Then my neck width is 3.5 inches is what I'm going to use. You can use 3 inches. Then my shoulder is 16 divided by 2, which is 8 plus 0.5 is, which has been added. Then I'm going to just drop the 8.5 inch for the armhole because mostly the shoulder and the armhole are the same. Okay, then I'll draw this line to come up with our chest line. Then from here I'll come down by 1.5 inch for my shoulder slope. Then go ahead and connect your armhole like this. So my bust was 40 divided by 4, which is 10. So I'm going to mark 10 here plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. You can add as much allowance as you want, just in case you need adjustments. So on the bust line, I'll mark the same measurement. Then my waist divided by 4 plus 0.5 inch for ease and 1.5 and 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then even my hip, that was 42 divided by 4, which is 10.5 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance and ease. Then you can join these lines together. Then for the armhole, do get the midpoint here, then go in by 0.5 inch and make the curve up to the original bust measurement, which is here. As you can see, then I just pass in my marker for the curve. Then guys, do take note that then the neckline, I've also already marked it. Sorry, the camera was not working. So just go down by 7 inches. Then when you do that, connect that line to the width of your neckline. Okay, so now we are done with the front piece. We are going to now work with the back piece. So we use one paper, this same paper for the back and front. So for the placket, the front placket, I want it to be as wide as 1.5 inch. So I'm just going to mark 1.5 here, 1.5 here. This is according to your preference of how wide you want it to be. You know, that placket which makes that V come out well is what I'm just marking here. So go ahead and draw the slanted line here like this. So we're done with our front piece. Okay, so now we can go to the back piece, of which I'm going to use this same paper like I said. So I'm just trying to get like the point where this line is coming from. Okay, then what we're going to do is from the starting line here, go up by 1.5 inch. So the 1.5 inch we went down by is how much we're going to go up by for the back piece. So here and on this point, we're also going to go up by 1.5 inch to make a sort of like a starting line for the back piece, like this. Then I will just mark the width here. I'll also use 3.5 for the back, for the neck width. Then I am going to go ahead and also measure the shoulder like that. So it measured about 5.5, so I'm going to just duplicate that here. Okay, then for the depth I'm going to use 1 inch for the neck depth of the back piece. We're going to use 1 inch. Okay, let me just mark 1 inch even here at the tip of the line. Yes, then you can use your curve ruler to make your neckline. If you don't have one, you can still work your curve. It's not difficult. So I'm just working with my ruler to see where the perfect curve will come up. So I've gone ahead and marked my back neckline like this. So I'm just passing the marker so that you people can see. So we can now go to the armhole of the back neckline. So of the back piece, sorry. So I also just wanted to measure the front armhole because it had looked as if it was so short with this method, but it gave me 8 inches, which is good enough. Then you can go ahead and curve your back armhole. Okay, so I'm using pencil first, guys, so that my ruler does not have the marker stain. Okay, so it's that easy. Can you imagine we're done with the back piece just like that? So now we're allowance was added to this piece already, so now we're not adding to the side seam. So the allowance will be at the armhole, it will be at the shoulder, and it will be at the neckline. So from the armhole we're going to add 0.5 sewing allowance for the back piece. We're going to start with the back piece first. Okay, then 0.5 inch here, even here 0.5, 0.5. Then even at the neckline we're going to add 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to join this with my pencil. I'm sure you can see it. So at the bottom here I went ahead and added 1 inch for hemming allowance. You can use 2 inches or 1.5. Then at the armhole I added 0.5, at the shoulder 0.5, and at the neckline 0.5. So as at now we are ready to cut the back piece. So take note that we're cutting the back piece only with its allowances. Okay, so we're done with cutting the back piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it on the fabric that I'm going to work with. So I have this drill fabric. It's about 3 meters long. 2.5 can also be okay for an average person. So I'm just going to cut this out on fabric and this on fold, so that when you open it up you have a complete back piece like this. Then I'll go to the front piece now. As you can see, I've added 0.5 inch here. Then I'm going to add even at the shoulder and at the armhole. Okay, so the 0.5 at the neck will be for the joining of the placket. At the armhole it will be for the joining of the sleeve, and at the shoulder it will be for the joining of the two shoulders. So 0.5 inch, I went ahead to add it at the armhole, at the shoulder and at the neck. So now we can cut this out. And here's what we have for our front piece. Okay, then we're just going to cut it on the remaining fabric. So this is on fold. Then I'd also like to emphasize on the neck depth. You can go as I use 7 inches, but you can use 6 inches, or how wide you want your v-neck to be. After the sewing of this video, we'll see how the 7 would have fitted on my body. So we are done with the front piece. And here is how it looks like. As you can see, this type of a V is different from the previous V neckline that we made, the other scrub. Then next, I'll go ahead and cut the placket. So my placket is going to be on fold like this. Then this should measure 2 inches. I know the placket is supposed to be 1.5 inch, but the 0.5 will be for the joining of the placket to the neck. Remember, even at the neck, we left 0.5 inch for this joining. So mark 2 inches down. Then you're going to need 2 of these plackets. So let them be between 13 inches to 15 inches long. Okay, or you can measure the slant that has been created from the V, and there you can add about 3 to 5 inches extra for the placket. So I'll use plackets of 15 inches.